So today I'm sharing public speaking. We all guys, we are public speakers. And whenever I read public speaking, any book, any topic, so my mind goes think about around the 3,000 years back. The study public speaking began around 2,500 years ago or around 3,000 years back. First and foremost, I'm introduced to my hero, Aristotle. I like Aristotle and Plato because I read about them. They are both guys are very superb, excellent. So basically, Aristotle was a Greece Athenian philosopher and classical ancient teacher and very guide person. Aristotle is one of the most famous scholar at the time, and still we are learning his books and other stuffs. Second, his student is Plato. Plato was a very superb and very Athenian poet and writer, and he's very creative thinker person. He wrote many books and many things in their life. And around 2000, we are learning about him and his books. First, I want to introduce Romans. After that, after Greece, basically Plato and Aristotle both are belong to Greece. But after that, we are talking about the Romans. Romans, very culture, very difficult and very like a drama and poetry. They belongs to work very hard in their in public speaking and then poetry other elements. And then I'm talking about the medieval period from 400th century to 1400 century. Basically, they in contrast to develop the modification took the place during the classical period. The medieval age was considered a dark space, but they work very well about the public speaking and other stuff. Renaissance from 1400 century to 1600 century. Renaissance period saw the rise of new intellectual and rhetoric who emphasized for the style of the public speaking. Enlightenment from century 1600 to 1800 period was a very considered to be bridge between the past and the present. Then we are talking about the new school. New school means around after 1857 we have learned about the many poets, many writers, many public speaker. I learned about the Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, Maulana Azad, and Nomani Shabli. They are Persian and Urdu writer and speakers. Especially I talk about the Urdu language, to Sir Syed Ahmad Khan worked very well. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan wrote many books, many literature in English and Urdu because he was a very superb and excellent person. And after that, his students, Maulana Azad, Altaf Hussain Hali, and Nomani Shabli, they work very well. And they start a very movement, they introduced to their language and they introduced to them themselves. Now, new school, some consider some content. Now I'm reading this content. The new school consider public speaking as a separate field to study. Communication department have the professor and structure to teach about the classical and modern literature. For instance, Toastmasters is a one such training organization that the end of teaching its member public speaking skills. It's very honor for us. Toastmaster International have everywhere they're working. These are non-profit organization. They are working well, and they are giving to us the training for the. They are motivating us for public speaking, and we can talk to each other easily, and we can describe our feelings anywhere. But I cut the story of the Sir Syed Khan, but I just want to discuss about Sir Syed and Altaf Hussain Hali because they got very sacrifice in their life. So we once in our life we should read about them because they around 40 years or around or plus 40 years they work very well and they have been faced a very uh, difficult and worse situation because at the time 1857 revolution, you know about it, is a very difficult situation and some migrations, some fighting wars, but they they were emphasizing on the reading and writing, poetry, public speaking. They never stopped their work. To we salute to all guys because they did something in their past. Now we are learning more and more elements, and we are working on creative thinking and other contents. So these are my some a little bit research work on public speaking. I hope so you got my point. If anyone any question, so you can ask me, I'll give you answer. Anyone have any question? From Girish to of new school consider public. Okay, no problem. Otherwise, back to you, Toastmaster of Day. This is my research and presentation. Over to you, Toastmaster.